position. Oh, what a nail! As Jonathan Bostic just separated Mike Willie from the football.
You know what it is, Fourth Quarter Boyz Sports. I am your illustrious host, Professor Lake, in the building once again, man. You know I'm cooking in the kitchen, man. You know the table is set. Ding, 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 come and get it. Dinner is served. So today we're going to talk about the Bears versus Chiefs. You know, they're coming off a victory in Cincinnati. So it looks like the Bears are able to put together back-to-back wins. You know, it's a lot to talk about. Man, it's good to be back, man. You know, talking to my people once again. But before I get right into it, you know what it is right about this time. It's Fourth Quarter Boyz Sports. It is the illustrious one, your host, Professor Lake. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Yeah, be a Fourth Quarter Boy for life. Hit that notification bell. You know what it is. Let's get it popping, man. A lot of good things happened today for the first game of Matt Nagy's head coaching career in Soldier Field. Got his first victory against his former boss, head coach Andy Reid. You know, a guy that he owes his career to, and he'll tell it to you himself. And I've seen him say it in many interviews. But you know, he's able to come away with a victory with a second string offense, second string defensive players against Chiefs team who played their starters for 3 quarters. That has to be satisfying as a Bears fan to see the type of quality depth that Ryan Pace has been able to bring into the organization and player development as well. But offensively, I'm excited. You know, we're going to talk about a couple players real quick. Chase Daniel, the second string quarterback, had a phenomenal game. He showed efficiency. He showed mobility, decisiveness. You know, he went 15 for 18. He threw for 198 yards, 149.5 passer rating. He rushed for 47 yards, and he threw a touchdown. Nice game, Chase. You know, he really showed the fans and the media and a lot of doubters, including myself, why he's the second string quarterback. He showed that he has an understanding of Matt Nagy's offense. He showed he was able to move the ball when necessary. Hopefully, Mitchell Trubisky is taking notes. I would have loved to see Mitchell Trubisky run this offense as fluidly as Chase Daniel did. Another guy that had a great game, Javon Wims. You know, he was able to show his athleticism. He got yards after the catch. The scouting report showed that he couldn't get a lot of separation and he was a 50-50 ball man, but he showed a lot of speed and separation in some of his catches. And, you know, he was able to get them 2 feet in bounds, man. You know, I like what I see out of Javon Wims throughout the preseason. I want to see more development. I'm sure he can get better as a route runner. And I think that the more he plays in the system, the more he learns from some of the other receivers that have more experience than him, he'll just blossom later on down the road. I think he solidified himself a spot on the 53-man roster. Kevin White as well. You know, he showed that he could make plays in the NFL, scoring his first touchdown. He was able to be patient at the top of his route, waiting for the defensive back to commit to the stutter step, and that's when he blasted past him and got wide open for an easy touchdown pass. So happy for Kevin White. Again, he stayed healthy. That's another thing. But he showed that he was comfortable in his offense. I want to say he caught 2 or 3 passes today. So that's a good performance to stack on top of his performance that he had in Cincinnati. Good job, Kevin White. James Daniels, you know, I don't want to be a party pooper. I think he held his own, but there's definitely parts of his game that I see as a deficiency. You know, I don't really look at him as a road grader. Again, he's a finesse blocker. You get him out of space. You know, he knows how to position himself against defensive linemen to shield would-be tacklers from getting into the run lane. But I don't see him as the type of guy to push a guy off the ball by himself, you know, 3 to 4 yards. I just don't see it. But at the same time, in pass protection, he was able to keep Chase Daniels clean, and he kept Tyler Bray clean. So, I think he just needs a little bit more development. I think Eric Kush might win that starting job at the left tackle, but I think he will be a sufficient backup for the time being. I think he just needs to develop a little more grown man strength. Overall, I'm satisfied with where he's at. I'm just glad that we have players that are stepping in there right now to give him time to develop. Defensively, there's not a whole lot I really want to touch on. There's just a couple players that stood out to me. Isaiah Irvin, he showed that he has great ball get off, gives you constant pressure. He's good in run support. He did slip up on a Tyreek Hill play, but it's Tyreek Hill. In pass rush situations, Isaiah Irvin, he has a multitude of pass rush moves that he can use. And he showed them, he starts with a bull rush and he finishes with a spin move. He sets up his pass rush moves well with his feet and his hands. I like what I'm seeing out of him. And when Floyd gets healthy, assuming that Aaron Lynch may not be healthy, I think Isaiah Irvin is another guy that may be in the mix. I see him, Sam Acho, Leonard Floyd steadily getting pressure on the quarterback. And as for the defensive line in general, I really liked what I saw. They were able to get constant pressure on the quarterback, not giving him much time to settle down in the pocket. There are numerous times that you can see the quarterback being flushed out the pocket and having to make a throw on the run. Another guy that I've been looking at, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but I would like you guys to go ahead and check out the film session that I did on Kevin Tolliver very early on in the fourth quarter Boyz inception. So go look for it. It's LSU, Dante Jackson, Kevin Tolliver film session. It's a double film session. Kevin Tolliver is the second cornerback that I cover. But, I always thought that, he would be able to make his way onto an NFL roster. I didn't think at the time it would be the Bears, but I am satisfied that the Bears kind of saw what I saw in this guy. Pure athleticism. He's very raw. I think that he'll only get better with more reps and experience in the game, practicing and learning from some of the veterans. So I think Kevin Tolliver, if he doesn't make the 53-man roster, I see him being able to sign a contract as a practice squad player for the time being. Hopefully he gets past waivers. But I like Kevin Tolliver. And I think he has pretty decent coverage just based off the athleticism that he could bring to the game. But we'll see what happens. Nick Williams is another guy that's been intriguing me. Not a big name. He's a free agent that we picked up in the offseason. But Nick Williams, if you see this guy's arms, golly. I like what he brought to the table. There's a couple times during each preseason game where I see he's making plays behind the line of scrimmage. I think that he's able to push the pocket back as well. I think that he may be able to beat out John Jenkins for that backup nose tackle spot. And I think he'll find himself in the rotation in the 53-man roster. I think that'll be a dark horse to look for. So just remember the name, Nick Williams. But overall, there's not a lot of people on the defense that really stood out to me today. The secondary, our backups, I think we're kind of on shaky ground, to be honest with you. No one really stands out, in my opinion. When you think about this impermissible use of the helmet rule, I see a lot of times where normally the Bears defensive backs would, just lay the lumber on some of these wide receivers, and it would have been a legal hit last season. I see them pulling up, and I see a lot of receivers getting a lot of yards after catch. I think a lot of it has to do with this impermissible use of the helmet penalty and players just not wanting to launch themselves at any player and add 15 more yards and get, thousands of dollars taken out of their paycheck. Those are some of the things I noticed with the defense. Again, not a lot of standouts. I'm still liking what I'm seeing out of Joel EA doing their way. I still need to say it a little bit smoother, but Joel, I think that he also needs to develop. I think he's good on special teams. I think that with time, you may see him break his way into the starting lineup as Trevathan gets older. But I think he has what it takes athletically. When he gets stronger and develops this grown man strength that I talk about, I think that he'll be a good linebacker for the Bears on the other side of Roquan Smith. Offensively, again, I think Matt Nagy's system is the real deal. Last season, our offense was very predictable. Matt Nagy has schemes to get wide receivers open easily. I think he makes their jobs a lot easier as well. I think Harry Hestad has really done a good job with coaching up the offensive line. They're giving up the quarterback time to throw the ball. In running situations, the offensive line is not blowing people off the ball every time, but you don't see a lot of penetration, allowing the running back to maybe bounce it outside or make a second cut on the inside and just gain 3 or 4 yards. So I'm liking the coaching that's going on. I'm liking the play design as well. I think the play design is quarterback friendly, wide receiver friendly. I think once the players are able to execute the system efficiently, the potential of what this offense will look like is through the roof. And I think that we'll see progression throughout the season. I don't necessarily like the starters not playing this game at all. At the same time, I understand the benefit of keeping guys healthy. He caught a couple injuries last game unnecessarily. And I think that Matt Nagy is smart for keeping these guys out the game. It would be unfortunate to lose an Allen Robinson or Taylor Gabriel or Mitch Trubisky, playing through 3 quarters of preseason football. It's just not worth it. Initially, I thought that the starters should play, but seeing what we looked at today out of our second stringers, I'm really appreciating the system that Matt Nagy's instilling in our offense. I wish we had him last season, developing Trubisky. I think last year was the season wasted for Trubisky. But this year, hopefully we can see Trubisky execute like Chase Daniels did today. I think that we'll have a lot more wins. Defensively, not a lot of people stood out to me. I think that we're really going to have to think about our secondary depth because it's questionable right now. I think our linebackers are working hard. I think they need experience and strength as well. But with Roquan Smith stepping in there, I think he will be a definite upgrade to Nick Kwiatkowski, who really didn't do anything today. With that in mind, I'm going to end it right here. It was a great game. This is how I wanted to see the Bears open up at Soldier Field with Matt Nagy. So, it's a great Saturday for Bears football. Bear down. It's fourth quarter Boyz Sports. It is the illustrious one, Professor Lake, in the building once again. I see you guys scraping the plate. I'm going to double back down and do a depth chart video for you, just to see what players we're looking at going up against the Green Bay Packers. But it's me. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Yeah. Be a fourth quarter boy for life. Fourth quarter boy for life, man. I'm out.
And this is, what a nail! As Jonathan Bostic just separated Mike Willie from the football.